5,000.1 on the subs, 300.4 on the highs. So with those 4 little holes drilled, I'll know I'll be able to get the larger hole saw in the right spot so they're not too close to each other. They're just right. Yep. Looks like I found my way in. I got an alternator sitting over there and a bunch of wire on order, some 2-aught from Sky High to get from the front to the back. I've already got one 1-aught from the front to the back from the previous system, but I got a lot more because I'm doubling the power. But it's not going to be here till Tuesday. There's some snow in the mountains and it just isn't going to get here fast enough. So I guess I can wire this amp rack up as much as possible. Pretty boring watching all the wiring. So we'll just go straight time lapse.
Turn the bass up and the road noise down with Damplifier from Second Skin Audio. Damplifier kills structural noise by damping the vibration energy of your car's metal. Damplifier Pro is 2 millimeters thick and engineered for top-of-the-line performance. Damplifier is cut to fit. Use it on any interior metal surface of your car, doors, floor, trunk, roof, hood, or the firewall. All to keep your sound in and the road noise out. All made in the US of A, baby.
So this cable came out pretty nice, like they always do. But this one came out of the truck after I'd already put the ferrule in the amp. I brought it out specifically to show what happens when you use a ferrule inside of an amp. So it looks really nice, right? Nice and clean, brand new. Once you hit it with that set pin, look at that. It's totally okay to not use ferrules. Those terminals are designed for stranded wire, but you can't deny how nice ferrules are. That is not coming out of there. I'll go ahead and pop this thing right back where it was. Should go right back into that little indent that it made. Here. Some 10 gauge OFC for the sub box. I'm not a big fan of the green wires. Nothing in there is green, so even though I don't really have to because it's got a little sleeve over it already, we're gonna put a little heat shrink on those. And now you can see why there's standoffs on this DSP, because those big fat wires need to pass behind it. I originally wasn't going to have it this far out, but the wires are bigger than I anticipated, even though I've seen them a million times. So I hooked these wires up real quick, the existing ones, just to make sure everything's working, and it is. All we got left is we got to bring up 4 2/0s from the front, reconnect them up in here. A little bit of blue 2/0, a little bit of black 2/0. Hey, when I do something dumb, and then I go, don't do that again, and I do it again. Okay, good. You know you got a solid crimp when this thing feels solid 3/4 of an inch past the ring terminal. That'll do it. We're good. I'm literally a set of RCAs away from this thing firing up. I can't turn them on because I'm a couple of RCA plugs short, but I can light them up. Oh yeah. Look at that. Now the LEDs, they're looking good and everything, but 99.999% of the time the seats are going to be covering it, so it's really no need, unless you're showing it a little bit, just turn them off. There we go. Amps are still on, LEDs are off, good to go. Normally I start from the front and work my way towards the back, but this time, since I didn't have my power wire yet, I started in the back and I'm working my way towards the front. So all this stuff is done. I'm a couple of RCA ends short of actually hearing it playing, but I did patch it over and I know that it does work.
But the real beauty come from within. I swear I spin. If I could do it over again, I probably wouldn't want it to end.
But we're gonna finish up that wiring before these seats go back in. And I got an alternator and a front fuse block, and this thing is on the road, ready to bump. And yeah, with that, I'm out of here.